folks, welcome to the Beans and Dice podcast, Thursday night call-in show. I'm Carlos.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Wayne.
And we are a podcast about how we game. And on Thursday nights, we take your phone calls to talk about how you game, what you've been up to gaming-wise, all the gaming geeky goodness in your life. We take your calls to talk about, not really make it about us, but about y'all. See here, I'm opening up the phone lines here. Wayne, let the folks know how they can get a hold of us.
Call the number, which is not on the screen yet, because I don't know what it is off the top of my head. 813-618-7099. Call in. Tell us what you're gaming. Interrupt us so we don't talk and babble about the games we were playing or about some other geeky topic.
You know what I didn't do? I didn't plug in the landline. Wayne, you keep talking. I'm going to go plug in the landline.
How's it going? Mike, good meeting you in person. First time this past week.
Yeah.
Your turn.
Yeah, man. It was nice meeting you.
Yeah. So the for those of you that aren't in the know, most of us from the Beans and Dice crew, a large chunk, we're at the Your Turn Cafe Board Game Con 2022, the initial first one. Started Friday afternoon, went all the way through Sunday late. It was pretty good. I gotta say, I was for organizing a con for the first time. You're always gonna have sort of worries or issues, but really I didn't see any issues. I mean, it was really, everything worked out great. The tournaments, the open gaming, flea market, you know, it really, I couldn't speak highly of how well it was organized by Dan and the crew at Your Turn. So, and I got to meet a lot of people for the first time. So it was great.
Definitely. Yeah. Especially like you said, for a first time con that they ran. I know that they were kind of stressed out leading up to it and probably during it, but you would never know, while you were there just gaming. It was very, very smooth running. So very surprised and pleased, Yeah.
Yeah. You always want a first time con, especially, we love Your Turn. We want them to succeed and grow and be awesome. And I think, it was great. It was a lot of new people. It was funny. It's actually on Sunday, woman that went to graduate school with my wife was texted. She posted on Facebook that she was going to this local convention in Zephyr Hills, Florida. And my wife's like, "Oh yeah, find my husband. He's there." And I was randomly walking down the street. She came right up to me and said, "Oh, you're Wayne. Your wife said to meet you." And she had like 3 little kids with them. And I was teaching them how to play Clask, and they were learning, kids games. And then they went to the flea market and bought a bunch of games. So it's like, you always love to see, people just showing up, checking something out, and, learning about games. So it's kind of fun. So
I won't say I was pleasantly surprised because, I've knowing Dan and Sarah, they put a lot of effort to get stuff right. Like that's their big thing is very rarely have I seen them get stuff wrong.
True.
I felt bad. They they were tired. You could see it. They put a lot of work and energy to make it go well.
Yeah.
I walked away like, wow, he really, after all the cons that he's gone to, he really knew the types of things he wanted to do. He wanted to have scheduled events. He wanted to have tournaments. He wanted to have panels. And for a first-time con holder, I don't know how to say it. Like, I don't want to use the word surprise because surprise would be like, I expected Dan to F that up.
No, yeah.
Well,
I don't know. How do we say that?
Yeah. Just... You knew it was going to go right, but it so many things could have gone wrong that
it exceeded my expectations. Yeah, exceeded my expectations. Were like, this is going to be fun. This is going to be good.
Right.
Yep.
But the overall weekend exceeded my expectations to the point where I hadn't planned on being there Sunday. Like Sunday wasn't part of the plan. But we had so much fun Saturday, and then we saw the events going on Sunday. We're like, you know what? Let's go back. And we spent the whole day. We closed that place down.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Closed it down with Ready, Set, Bet, baby.
Yeah. Whoop, whoop. I still missed you calling a game. I played it a couple times, but never with a live caller. I got to play that. Mike
was nuts.
Yeah. I watched the replay. I was like, actually, I got home because I had to leave. I got home and you guys were live streaming it. I'm like, oh, sure. You play the game right after I leave. But no, I mean, the staff at Your Turn, I mean, those guys in the kitchen cooking and getting food for everybody. They were working hard all weekend. Those guys were, I can't speak to the awesomeness of the Your Turn Cafe crew, stepping it up even more during the con, which was fun. It was great. Yeah. And I thought the flea market was great. I resisted the urge to buy too many new games. I think I only bought 5 or 6 new games, I guess, for me.
What?
So yeah.
What games did you pick up?
Well, I picked up great best little treehouse, little card game for kids. Picked up Clank, Maglev Metro, Living Forest.
Maglev, that's a great buy.
Yeah, Maglev's a great buy.
Did you get that one off of Mo?
Yeah, no, I got it off of Diego. a couple more Diego. And then what else? I got the Brooklyn Nine-Nine Clue.
Oh yeah, yeah, we saw that one.
That's for my wife. She
got a call coming in, but I don't think I need to screen it. I think we'll know this one.
Gonna go right in.
Beans and Dice Podcast. State your name. Where are you calling from?
Well, this is Ron Frazier from Atlanta, Georgia.
Hello, Mr. Ron Frazier. Welcome to the show.
So, heard you guys talking about Your Turn Con. That's cool. I think a couple of you know that I originally had planned on going down there, but things didn't work out. But I am going to a small convention in Charlotte called Jeff Con. It's a special con that's going on in the place of Mace, which normally happens because Jeff Smith, the organizer of Mace, passed away from cancer earlier this year. And so they're doing this last one in his honor. But then they're going to, after that, they're going to, a new ownership group's going to take over in one con in those locations in the future. So, yeah, I'm excited about this.
What are your plans? Have they set up like we were just talking about a structure, a schedule of events like that for Jeff Con?
Yeah, they do. They don't use tabletop events. They use a different system. And they have, board games, role-playing games, separate events, tournaments, and whatnot. They also have some open gaming space. I actually only have registered for 2 events, one on Friday and one on Saturday for role-playing games. And then I'm just going to feel the thing out for the rest of the weekend. So that's some folks that I'm looking forward to hooking up with in the RPG space mainly, like YouTubers or what have you, and just we having a good time.
Is that the primary focus of the con? Is like more RPG focused?
Yeah, that's the impression that I got. And as a matter of fact, when I first became aware of it, it was like RPGs and like war games, almost exclusively.
Well, Carlos should be going if there's war games involved.
It's weird how like the RPGers and the war gamers are a niche within a niche community. Like, there's the board gamers and y'all think y'all are cool and normal. And then there's those RPGers and war gamers, those guys.
Well, I think, Gygax, who created Dungeons and Dragons, originally started out as a tactical war gamer.
Where do you think Gen Con came from?
Yeah, that's all it was. So, I mean, those are kind of, I think the board gamers were the niche guys back then, right? Because all there was the
tables have turned.
Yeah, well, the board gaming as a hobby just wasn't as, like, in this sense, wasn't as big, right? Like, it was the war gaming, all these hobbies were niche hobbies, right? And so the board game scene has exploded, I think, in part due to its more of its accessibility, because you can have abstract games that appeal to people. You can have thematic games. You got a whole spectrum. And there's many different ways that board games can appeal to people. And plus, it's more of it seems like people can grok that more than the concept of a role-playing game. So I think that's my theory anyway. But, so I'm looking forward to that. That's kind of my big thing. But last weekend while you guys were doing the U-Turn kind of thing, one of my local game stores, Meeple Madness, hosted an Extra Life event.
Nice.
And I taught a few games. So I got to play some games with a scout troop. So it was a mix of kids and adults. And let me tell you, teaching and playing board games for kids, I mean, kids are like, preteens and teens. That is God's work, because man, it can be hard to get some of them to focus.
Herding cats.
Yeah, you got to play a quick game, dexterity game, or some kind of quick party game with a group that big, that age. Yeah.
So I tell you what I ended up playing. What was on the slate is, first of all, I played Lord of the Rings: Journey to Middle Earth. That was with 3 other adult dudes. Mm-hmm. So that was great. Then I taught that new Star Wars: The Clone Wars co-op game. We had a bunch of people. We had like 8 or 9 people, and so some of them paired up. Some kids paired up with a parent or what have you. And I didn't play at all. I just basically moderated the game. I taught the game and ran the villain in the invasion deck, and answered rules questions and so on and so forth. So that was cool. And of course, we played unmatched. We had a little unmatched 8-person tournament.
Nice.
Fell apart. It fell apart, but we still had fun. And then, it is because kids either got bored or they had to leave or what have you. So the tournament didn't end up turning out being a tournament.
Last man standing. Last scout standing was the winner.
It was. yeah, basically. But we finished the night with King of Tokyo. So as always, that's fun. So
that's a good one. That's an easy,
especially for that age.
Dice chucker.
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't realize that Extra Life was already happening. That was this past weekend.
Doesn't it kind of happen all year long, or is it only?
I think it does. But this store does their event the first weekend in November. They basically run a 24-hour period. So they're open on Friday. So, but instead of closing, technically the event runs from midnight Friday to midnight Saturday. And I wasn't there for overnight. I got sleep.
That's crazy. Look at this. Since in 2021, Extra Life hit over $100 million in U.S. dollars earned for charity.
Wow.
I mean, that's insanity. Yeah. Just this last one alone, the Magic the Gathering fundraiser on the 5th of November had $771,000 earned, raised for charity. And we got to jump in on this next year as a Beans and Dice group.
I think so. And I think Magic the Gathering, that's basically probably like local tournaments, right? So the Magic group sometimes is the I don't know how to say it. Magic players sometimes are the players that the rest of the gaming community kind of like, the Magic players, right? Or they're the troublemakers, or they're on their own thing. But I mean, all true. Yeah, highest producers, highest earners on Extra Life, though. I mean, almost $1 million, 750,000, 800,000. It's a lot of money.
For you folks at home that haven't been familiar with Extra Life, I've heard about it for a long time because of the D6G podcast, D6 Generation podcast, always did an Extra Life event. And it's effectively a fundraiser. You pick a local children's hospital of your choice, and then you play games. And you get people to sponsor you to play games for how many hours, depending on how you want to do it. For the D6 Generation, they said, we will play games this many hours. Will you sponsor us this much money per hour? Right? And they got people to donate to these charities, saying that, we'll do 24 hours of gaming if you sponsor us this much per hour. And that's how they raised money for their local children's hospital. We got to jump in on this one for next year.
Yeah, and we've got a couple of big children's hospitals in the Tampa Bay area. You got St. Joe's, and then you got the Shriners Children's Hospital, which would be, both of them would be, valid charities.
Well, thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah,
appreciate it, Ron.
Yeah, it's great. No problem.
Yeah, so Ron, beyond the the event and the con you're going to. I believe you said you were going to go to some kind of movie. I don't know. Some movie was coming out today. Did you get to a movie today?
So it was Black Panther Wakanda Forever, in case people were wondering. And yes, I did see it. And I don't know where people are getting all this praise for this movie. Like, I just there were things about it I enjoyed, and there were story decisions that I did not agree with whatsoever. And I'm just going to leave it at that, because to get into any further discussion will require me to talk about spoilers.
No
are we talking about disappointing to the Lord of the Rings level? Do we need to get Mitchell on the phone with his sword, or are you? or was it 2 hours and 45 minutes of at least entertaining time?
It was entertaining, but I have issues with it, and I think issues that some people will not have the same issues with.
Just say it.
Come out of it.
Just say it.
No, don't.
No,
Spoilers.
Fine.
Come on now, man.
I'll see it next weekend with the family. It's almost 3 hour long movie. By the time you do trailers and the post credit scenes, you're there for 3 hours and 15 minutes. And with an 8-year-old, we're gonna have to go to an 11 a.m. showing.
Woof.
Yeah, that's a long movie.
Yeah.
So.
Well, if you see it and you want to discuss it, I am open to discussing it.
I think what's the Carlos? What's like the beans and dice rule on spoiler talk? Do we have to wait 2 weeks, a week? Is it you'd be like
at least a week.
At least
Have you ever known me to establish a rule for anything? Like, because I'm gonna be the first one to break it. I try not to establish rules because I tend to break them.
Well,
maybe next week.
You always do spoilers. Yeah,
We can do a spoilerific upload, like a podcast upload with hashtag spoilerific. Don't listen if you don't want to get spoiled.
That's true. Yeah. Well, that's I'm hearing a couple people. I've heard a couple people like Ron though. A couple of my friends on Facebook are pointing at okay, it was good, but I'm not getting why it's why everyone's gushing over it, and then I've had some people gushing over it. So we'll have to see where my taste lies after I see it, because I like the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Some of my issues have to do with the fact that I'm a black man, and there's some things that I observed that I didn't like.
We're gonna have to set up a podcast. We are going to Wayne. That's it, Ron. You got to tell us what night this next few days. What night you can sit down and we can have one of those Jason Perez style. Just let it all out, conversation and people be damned on how you feel. We just gonna tell you how we feel. But first we gotta go see it, Wayne. I guess we gotta go see it.
It's not next Saturday for me, unfortunately.
Okay, it'll be a week from now, Ron. We'll get with you.
But might be able to get my wife on board because she'll pick up on some of the stuff that Ron picks up on, I'm sure.
Now I want to go.
Yeah.
Cool. But to end this on a lighter note, I've gotten a lot of joy out of Seven Wonders Architects.
My man.
And between deals that I follow tabletop gaming deals, and between coupons on Amazon for that and some gift cards, I ended up picking that game up for $14. And I'm a very happy man. Because,
it's not a cheap game.
I love that game.
It is not an inexpensive game. That's the one thing that bothers me about it. As much as I love it, as light as it is for families, because of its component breakdown organizer, it makes it an expensive game.
Yes.
Yeah. I saw you.
Yeah.
You
that's
busted
my
that out
major
during
issue.
your turn, right, Carlos?
Yeah, I busted it out your turn before. I think we played it again during the con. It's a light family weight 7-player drafting game in a sense. Selection game? I don't know. Can't really call it drafting because you kind of are drafting from 3 piles. I wouldn't know what to call it. All I know is I call it fun.
Yeah,
and I call it where I'm selling 7 Wonders regular. Like I'd rather play 7 Wonders Architect over 7 Wonders regular all day, every day.
I don't know about that.
Ron, tell Mike why he's wrong.
I didn't say one way or the other. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just very surprised that, first of all, 1, you are publicly saying that you're getting rid of a game, and 2, you're choosing this over regular 7 Wonders.
Hey, he sold a lot of games at the fair, man. Did you see all the games you put in there? Yeah.
But
that was the first. It was very painful.
Give me
I
the
cried.
rundown. Why are we picking Architects over regular 7 Wonders?
Both games play in like 30 minutes, right, Ron?
Yeah.
So why would you pick? Which one would you pick? I say Architects. Which one would you say?
Oh, me? Well, I own Architect, so I don't own regular 7 Wonders. So that should tell you. I'm not, I don't diss on 7 Wonders, but the 2 7 Wonders games that I have are Architect and Duel.
And those are both great.
I think it almost depends on the either your audience or when you first started playing it, right? Because if you're new to gaming or you've never played either, whichever one you pick up, you're gonna like. I think I started with the 7 Wonders when it first came out, so my game group would probably want to stay with that. It's a little bit more complexity than the 7 Wonders Architects, but I think we said, Carlos, the price tag on this is not cheap, right?
Right. That's the one thing is the component quality on this. The Zen Bins, I believe, is who made them for all the plastic vacuum created trays. But it makes it so easy to set up. You can shuffle up these trays that include your Wonder and your card decks with deck holders and a sticker on top that has your faction or your civilization special abilities. So like everything you need to know about your faction is all on that tray. And I just hand you that tray and boom, we set up and we go, which is great. But I guess it's that dichotomy of it, right? It's a lightweight family game. But families aren't going to spend $50 on a game, right? Like, I don't know if I'm wrong on that. Maybe I believe that, but I don't think families will spend $50 on a game.
That's a little pricey for a family targeted game, I think.
I think
yes.
Yeah, I think a game that is $39 on Amazon right now. Hey, look at that.
On sale, folks. Jump on it.
Yeah, that might be good. That's in the price range for your general gamer. That's not the hardcore gamers. I think your family.
Yeah, but this is the price range for like a game with a board and pieces. We're just talking about 7 decks, mini decks, and some tokens. Right?
It's those trays that add a lot to it. You think?
I think the trays add a lot to the cost.
Yeah. Yeah, and I got no issues with that. Actually, I really love it. So, not a game that's going to pick up at full price, and I'm glad I.
You said $15?
Yeah, something like that. It was around there, 14. Yeah. I mean, I had to use a gift card, but there was a really good deal running on it. Like, there was a discount, and then there was actually a coupon on top of that, and then I think I had a $10 gift card or something like that, and I got the price down. It was great.
Nice.
Well, Ron, it was great hearing from you. We really appreciate you taking up the mantle for our man Mitch being the first caller. I can count on you, Ron, to be that man.
Yeah.
He's slacking.
Yeah, he's tied up. Mitchell's tied up with theater stuff. He's running a show.
Poor excuse.
Yeah. Unless you're a theater person, then it's probably.
He's not committed enough.
Yeah.
Take care. Have a good night. Appreciate you.
All right.
See you, Ron.
All right.
All right, that gets us back to the phone line being open. 813-618-7099 is the number. Call in. Got some comments in the chat. Let's check out the folks in the chat, and then we'll jump back into some of the games that we played at Your Turn Con. Of course, our man, Rich Yassi, a.k.a. Getty, saying hello. We always appreciate when Getty pops in. And my man Bryson, still, this is my son, my 11-year-old son. He went to school with Bryson. Bryson was a neighbor of ours for a while. Every week, no fail, my little man pops in and says hi. Never played a game with the kid. I just seen him at the kid by my kid's school. I've seen him in the neighborhood, and he's always popping in. Oh, we got a call coming in. Beans and Dice podcast. State your name. Where are you calling from?
Hello and good evening. This is Nick from Wesley Chapel, Florida.
Mr. Oben. We're talking Your Turn Con 2022. What about you?
Yeah, I was there. That was fun. Good to see everyone. Mike, great to see you in person for the first time since you're moving. That was awesome.
It's been a long time.
And yes, the ready set bet calling was a highlight of the con. That game was fun. That game was fun.
Even with the app, that game is fun. Like the one game I played, we used the app, and I think it was pretty cool. We all got into it. So.
Yes, yeah. I mean, it's wild. I think it does a great job at timing the stop of the bets, because it almost guarantees every race. Four races for each game. Every race, you've got a good 20 to 30, maybe even 40 seconds where the pressure is kind of off. You've done all the bets you can do, either because you're out of chips or because the game tells you that no more betting. And now you just get to watch the race finish, and it is like watching a race finish. Like you're sitting there cheering for your horse, and the table's going crazy. It's wild. It's a really well-designed game to facilitate fun. Speaking of fun, actually, before any more Your Turn talk, Seven Wonders, playing Seven Wonders is an amazing fun game, objectively superior to Architects in many ways. So, well, and the big thing is they're almost, obviously, they're both Seven Wonders titles. They're almost not comparable, though. Seven Wonders original, which, by the way, is a fairly old game, was one of the first games to get simultaneous play all the way up to 7 players done really well. The reason you can play a 7-player game that is drafting and
30 minutes
thinking and strategic in 30 to 40 minutes that's its shtick. That's its thing, right? A 7-player game of Architects, there are 6 other turns between my turn and my next one. It's not the same game. Simultaneous play is the point of Seven Wonders. So, like, that's the thing. That's what it does. That's why you bring it to the table. I've got 5 people, and I need to play a game in half an hour, but I don't want it to be nothing against King of Tokyo, but I don't want to play King of Tokyo again, right? Or whatever.
Ever.
Right. I'm fine with King of Tokyo. It's a good game. I'm just saying I like them both. I like Seven Wonders, and I like Seven Wonders Architects, and I like Seven Wonders Duel for that matter. Although that was a little funny because, again, maybe it's just the way I was introduced. Seven Wonders was one of my first strategic games because it's 2013, 2011. So it's not fresh by any means. I've owned my copy for a long time, and that was the whole thing. The whole thing was it was a game you could play with 5, 6, or even 7 people, and it didn't take really much longer, unless one person has analysis paralysis or something. But anyways, yeah.
Here I'm sharing on the screen, if you're not watching, a video of you teaching Alien Pet Shop at Your Turn Con, because we're talking a lot about Your Turn Con tonight.
Yep.
This elicited, somebody put in the Beans and Dice sign on the screen. I appreciate whoever that was.
That was Rob.
My man. This elicited a comment from the designer of Alien Pet Shop, saying how great you did at teaching that game, playing that game.
It was fun. Yeah, that was Rip. I think it was the game with Diego and Rachel, and who else?
Me.
Oh, Wayne, you there? Yep. Yeah. That was great. A lot of fun. I enjoyed that game, and actually, it's funny. Leo, my middle child, saw it on the shelf today and kind of noticed it as a new game. It's funny how the kids kind of get used to the way the shelf looks, and when there's a new game on the shelf, it's like, hey, what's that? And I was like, oh, yeah, I got to teach you guys that, and we got to play it. Because I did get it. It's a great family weight game. It's got those neat pink dice, super cute art. It was fun. It was good. It was a good game. And yeah, that was a small Kickstarter. I won't say it flew entirely under the radar, but I don't have it up in front of me. But it wasn't huge by any means. And so really neat. The designer, I guess, stumbled across maybe someone told him about it, or he was just got some kind of really good Google algorithm looking for references of Alien Pet Shop.
Who was this game for?
Who was it for?
Yeah, what kind of gamer is this game for? Alien Pet Shop.
This is your family weight, certainly family game. I think it ages 8 and up, which is normally code for mildly strategic, but family friendly, and folks that want to build a little something. Right, you definitely build up your pet shop if you're drawn to the cute artwork and the fun flavor text. All of the cards are unique alien pet, and it's over the top cuteness, and a bunch of them are hammy and full of jokes as well. A couple of the playable characters resemble classic sci-fi tropes and whatnot. There's even a character that is almost Marvin Martian too much. Like you look at it and you're like, oh, that's
you can see right on the screen. It's the upside down Marvin the Martian. That's my the guy I played was Marvin the Martian. So you can totally see that guy.
Well, that's a straight riff right off. I didn't even notice that.
It is. Yeah, and then there's
is it the Jetsons in the bottom right? Is that what I'm looking at?
I think there's a Jetsons there, and then there's a Cthulhu there, which is not really space sci-fi, but it's very clearly a Cthulhu type character. But yeah, it's definitely cute and cutesy, right? So you're not gonna worry about any kind of nightmares or anything for kids, even though they're aliens. It's alien pets that you're like raising and trying to have in your shop, and then ultimately sell their offspring, which is so you get a little bit into the puppy mill conversation. Actually, you even joke about that. You're God. Yeah, you are trying to, well, because the game is real, like as to the point as it can be on that point. It's basically like if you take care of your pets, they have an offspring which is immediately sold. Like the offspring is not represented in the game at all. It's not like you get a alien token or something. It just is sold. So you are taking care of these pets just to have them have offspring, which are immediately sold and turned into money.
That is sad.
They poop out money. Anyways, but I like the pink dice. That's the part where I say it's cute and cutesy. The artwork is very cute, but like, did they have to use pink dice? Well, no, but they chose to, right? They are leaning into how cutesy it can be. But it was fun. It was fun. My guess is that after half a dozen plays, it would start to not need to come back to the table a ton, right? But it'll definitely for younger crowds and for families, it very well could, because there's always different characters to try, different combos of aliens to get, and I do see it like a lot of modern games now. I don't know if it was designed with expansions in mind, but it is ready for an expansion from the moment it hit the table, because, like, for instance, every game you play with the same 4 kinds of pet little houses that you can put them in, little like, you have to store them in your pet shop somewhere, and those 4 get samey real fast. That's the part, actually, I would imagine the kinds of housing you use for your pets is the part that is like, all right, there's one strategy that just kind of works and you just do it. But if there were 4 other ones and then you only ever played with 4 per game, now you'd have to switch that up. That would be probably my one thought there on when I played. I only played a couple of times, and it was just like, all right, this is what you do with those.
I would say if you don't have kids at home, I played the game once. I enjoyed it. I couldn't play this game over and over and over again with a young kid or young family. We could definitely play a bunch, but like Nick said, I think not just the houses. You can get different alien cards. There's mutations that you can put on the aliens. You could introduce wild card, or different mutations. It definitely was a nice game. It was very simple, very quick. I think it didn't overstay its welcome. We finished it in 30, 40 minutes max with Teach. So it's a quick game that you can play with family, bring it out. Even if you had like, it could be a filler game, even like not filler, more of a heavier filler, a game that you're waiting for someone to show up and you got 30, 40 minutes. All right, let's crank this out and then go on to a different game. But it was cute. And like you said, it's a good expansion would add complexity. But I think this is the kind of game that you get it when you have a younger kid and you play it a bunch, and then you get an expansion and you add the complexity, so the game could grow with your kids.
And last little bit on it. It has something which is becoming one of my favorite overarching. I don't know if it's a mechanic of a game, but just the way of a game. There are a set number of rounds, and you know that going in.
I love it.
Boom, you're going to play this game for 5 rounds, period. And that's I'm starting to really enjoy some of those pieces. When that shows up in a game, it's kind of like, oh, well, that's neat. It sets the stage for how it's going to work and what you're going to do.
I've played this week 3 games of Lost Ruins of Arnak with my wife. Trying to ask myself why I like this more than Dune. And it hit me last night. I think it was last night's game or the last game, the second to last game I just played. It's the turns or the rounds. It's 5 rounds. Like, I know it's 5 rounds. It's going to be 5 rounds this game or next game. There's no question on when this game is ending. And that is nice.
It is. And it's not only nice from a time boxing standpoint, but it adds a really smart strategic element to it. Carlos, if you care to try that one day, strategy and stuff, it'd be good. Okay, that's good. Last thing I'll say, because I'm already going long here.
Yeah, it's now the Nick and Dice podcast. A podcast about how Nick games.
I played Furnace for the first time. Certainly not a new game, but new to me. I played Furnace for the first time at the con. Actually, as an almost, we didn't play it. Like we were looking for a game we could teach and play in like an hour or less. And Will had actually brought it, I think. And I was like, oh, I've never played this, but I hear good things. And he's like, yeah, we can do that. So Sam, her son, and Rob and I actually were the players. Will kind of helped me out. He taught me. I was the only one that didn't know how to play. So he taught me kind of real quick as they set up, and then just kind of chaperoned my first round to make sure I did it right, running the engine and whatnot. And then he just kind of hung out. But that was really nice of him to kind of get us going real quick. And we got that game played quick, and I liked it a lot. I thought it was a real tight, nice little engine builder there. With slight asynchronous powers. Theme is completely whatever, but I even asked, I think halfway through the teach, I was like, so what are we actually doing here?
Doesn't matter.
Oh, you're like
it doesn't matter.
Businessmen trying to do business, get coal and turn it into
businessing better. Look at us. We're producing better. Like, me, I love theme. I'm a theme lover, right?
Yeah.
And part of why I didn't love what's the cube conversion game, Kingdoms is the new version of it. Wonderful World, right? Wonderful Kingdoms, I guess the new one.
It's Wonderful World.
Didn't love it. Like, I just couldn't get into the theme. But Furnace does that whole conversion thing that Wonderful World wants to do in a way that I don't care about its theme. Like, I don't. Like, I just want to use these cards to convert. Like, I love it.
Yeah, so that was a nice new game for me at the time. But that's what I got. Had a great time. Echo all the stuff that you guys said in the beginning. Really, really well put together. I participated as a seller in the flea market. I think that went great.
And you ran a live stream. Like, thank you. You took the initiative, put a game on the table, and ran. I set up the live stream table for folks to use. And Nick was one of the few people that said, you know what? I'm just going to throw a game on here and turn on the camera and see what happens. And look at that. We got a designer popping in our channel saying hi because of that. So thank you, Nick.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. And Wayne, I think, hit all the buttons. But yeah, no, that was great.
You too, Wayne. Appreciate you.
Sorry. Yeah, whatever. It's fine. It was a really good setup. Actually, it was a really smart thing to do. Actually, I wonder if almost not to over grandiose, but it's something I think would be successful at other cons too. Have a couple of con tables where maybe there's a hot, like maybe, even other cons that do like hot game tables could just have one of them streaming on the channel's, YouTube or whatever, right? We can all think of a local friendly group that has a small YouTube channel that hosts a con every year in Orlando that you could probably do that for.
I think he works in Florida, has some friends he works with in Florida, plays games.
Yeah, Tom from Florida.
Tom from Florida.
Yeah.
Florida.
All right, brother.
That was great. Yeah, man.
We appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Same,
you
man.
guys all have a great night.
Night. That's Nick Oben from Zephyr Hills, Florida, chiming in. Glad he took the initiative. And Wayne, thanks for helping to make that happen, getting the games to the table. We got some comments in here on the board. Let's see here. Loving some Pan Am. I think we know who this is. Pando Opinions.
Yeah, Pando Opinions. That's
Shout out. Thank you for popping in. Oh, we got a call coming in. I have no idea.
Lurking away.
Don't know who this is, but we're just going to risk it. Let's go.
Just going to risk it.
Go for it.
Beans and Ice Podcast. State your name. Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Jim from Tampa, but in Atlanta.
Damn it. I risked it. I should have just screened this guy off. I kid.
Hey,
Hello.
what did I do?
Hello, Jim Odak. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
We just came off a great con.
1 second.
Yes.
Change that ticker down there, Carlos.
I'm working on it. I'm smashing buttons. Go for it, Jim. What you got?
I loved the con. It was great. We did play Scythe on the live stream
Yes.
as well.
That's right. I
Of
did
course,
get
I
to make it
watched
to the
it.
live stream. I vetoed it the first time.
I watched it, and it was probably one of the most boring things I ever watched.
Tell me how you really feel.
I really love playing Scythe, but watching a video of it, I got to admit, is really dull.
I'm sure people enjoy it though. We also you and Mike were in our Thunder Alley game as well. So.
Yeah.
That was fun. I got to admit, that was fun. Hey, I drove to Atlanta for work, and on the way here, I watched a bunch of videos. I just got one thing for Carlos. Clash of Cultures. I'm in. When are you going to get it out?
Right now, let's do it. Let's go. That's my game. That's my jam. That is my jam.
I want to play that, man.
Like,
That
what do we
sounds
need
awesome,
Mosaic
that game.
for if we got Clash of Cultures? Like it makes no sense. Mosaic is just don't make no sense.
So your turn, Con. The first game I played, of course, was Dune, and I heard you guys talking about Dune and Lost Ruins. I love Dune. I think that is an amazing game. Arnak, I struggle with. I don't know what it is. I just struggle with that game. Maybe it is. I don't like you were talking about having a set amount of turns. Maybe I don't like having a set amount of turns. I like having that openness. I don't know.
I love Dune. I really like Arnak, but I think I'm better at Dune than Arnak. I think Arnak has the same issue that I have with Tapestry. Is like I feel like for some reason I'm the only one that doesn't have a crap ton of resources, and I'm done with my turn. I have to pass, and then everyone else is going. They have like 5 other things they can do before they pass. And I'm like, how are you producing this much? Same thing with Tapestry. I always feel like I'm done with my turn. So maybe I think for me, my difference between Dune and Arnak is I just don't get the production that people sometimes get with Arnak, and we're doing it's kind of where you're going to get your production from. But
I do have that same problem with Arnak. I'm like, how do people get up that track so far?
The funny thing about those two games is I've played Arnak probably about 3 or 4 times. I've only played Dune once, and I think I like Dune more, even though I got my butt handed to me in that game.
I don't know. There's just so many aspects of that Dune game. Just worker placement, fighting, area control, deck building. Well, not so much area control, but I don't know. I just love it. As you probably could tell, because I'm like all in on the pieces and stuff. But
yeah, and the new expansion looks really cool. I like the Bennett Lilacs, the cloning and the genetic stuff. That looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
I do
yeah,
like I like them both.
They say it's going to come out.
They're
end of the
both
year.
way up there. I get it. They're both way up there. Arnak is just nudges out Dune. Dune is still very good.
Yeah,
And
they're both
the addition
fantastic.
of that combat system
Yes.
into that style of game to me is what makes me want to play Dune. I
think
will
that's
play
what
Dune
it is
anytime.
for me too. Yeah.
And I think they came out around the same time, so I think the comparisons they're different enough games where I don't know if comparing them is a good and valid sort of argument. But
you can't help it. They're
no, because they came out at the same time or around the same time, right? So,
and people have to make decisions. Which one am I going to buy? So, not all people can buy both. I don't own both. I had to choose one. I went the Arnak route, but I only did that because I know that Rob has Dune. So it's like we're like peanut butter and jelly. We're like rice and beans. We go together.
I went out and bought. I bought Dune full value, not full value, but I bought Dune retail, and I picked up Arnak used at one of the Your Turn flea markets. Not this one, but the last one. So I own both because they're both good.
I do want to play the expansion with Arnak. I haven't played that yet to see if it improves my liking of it or not.
Expedition.
Still have mine on the shelf and shrink. But no, I'm going to get with you, Jim. We will get a game of Clash of Cultures going. I've taught it before. I'll teach it again.
Yeah, I'm in. Let me know. Then late Friday night, we played Trajan. You guys ever played Trajan?
I have not.
Mm-mm.
That game, I don't know how old it is. I think it's been around a while. That is just such an awesome game.
I can't remember how to spell it. It was like TRAJ? Was it
J?
J?
Yeah. 2011.
Rob played with us. It was me, Rob, Dan, and Mike.
I don't think I've ever played this game.
It play it. I mean, if you like heavier, 6 million different ways of doing stuff, but it's one of the first games I learned, and I really like it. And it was a surprise. I hadn't played in a while, and I brought it with me, and we played it that night, and everybody was very happy we played it.
Yeah, you all played that pretty late because I left, I don't know, 12:40, 1 o'clock, and you guys just started that game, I think.
Yeah, we finished up like right after
pretty
2, I think. Well, I was prepared to play all night, and I was kind of disappointed no one was playing all night long.
Yeah, I think that the one downfall of the con being sort of local without a hotel right next door is, hey, I'm gonna head home, get some sleep in my own bed, and then come back first thing in the morning. But Trajan, yeah, classic Feld, heavy, 3.65 rating on BGG. One that I haven't played yet. I played a lot of the Feld games, so I kind of missed out on playing this one.
I'm new into this Feld world, and I think this is one I think I'd be down for. Like, this seems like a deeper Feld. I'm just dipping my toe in the Feld, but I'm diving in.
Yeah, that neat aspect with the you move around the number of pieces around the board to what you want to do, and then however many pieces get left over, you're stuck moving that many later on. And
the rondelle aspect of this one.
I couldn't think of that word. Yep.
I went to high school with Rondell. Cool guy. Rich, I see. Yes, it is a Feld game.
Yep.
Yeah. I was happy to get Scythe on the table. Always like playing that. We also played Terraforming Mars with all the expansions.
Yikes! How long did that
game take? Did you ever play with all the expansions?
No, I don't think I played with the majority.
Like 5 hours. Once you play with them, it's like if you play without them, you feel lost. You're not lost, but like just yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. But yeah, then you guys taught me Thunder Alley. I was very happy about learning that. I've heard you guys talk about it quite a few times.
It's a great con game with that many players. It's that semi co-op feel of it. What'd you think, Wayne?
Oh, I really liked it. I thought it harkened back to Flamme Rouge. You get that pack mentality. You don't want to go out by yourself. You can be behind and catch up. There's kind of like that social thing where you're like talking to hey, if you help me here, you push me, I'll help you, and then he backstabbed the guy after, we get a little diplomacy action going on.
It's
there.
that
Like,
Hunger Games thing.
I'll
Like, hey,
help,
listen,
I'll
we
help
got
you in the
3
ball
laps
games.
we got to
Help me
get
take
to.
Italy, and then you leave me out to dry.
Yeah.
But no, it was good. I think that, hey, I liked it because I won. But no, I think that game also, I would love, like, I know you guys over the last couple of years have done kind of like a series, like a season. I think that'd be a really cool game to play. Do a 4 or 5 race, 8, 10 race season, and you collect points like you do in NASCAR. I thought it was really cool. I enjoyed that a lot. Play different tracks, it was cool.
And doing the whole season allows for the randomness that a racing game has. Racing games will have randomness. We felt them. We played a lot of Rallyman GT, but going through the whole season, it allows for that bell curve to work itself out. I'm glad y'all were able to play Thunder Alley. It's one of my favorites. I'm glad y'all put it on stream for everyone. Jim, it was great seeing you this past weekend. This weekend is Armada game day. Not sure if you'll be there, but I'll be there later in the evening. I'll be glad to teach some Clash of Cultures. We got to set that up.
It's the annual members meeting for the Tampa Gaming Guild, same day, so I'll be there for that. That said, your turn was great, but one thing I kind of realized, and I want to thank all of you for what you guys do. I mean, putting all this together, doing all this stuff, just draws at least me into the gaming more and really helps me enjoy it. And I think a part of the reason why that U-turn was so good for me was just you guys being there and doing the stuff that you did. So thank you.
Awesome. Glad to have met you in this gaming community and grown to know you better. This is what we do. We get out there, and Mike, Wayne, Rob, all of us, all the Beans and Dice folks, we get out there and we try to teach people about games, and more importantly, make those personal connections with you as people. So that way we get to know you and make some friends. So thanks for coming out, man. I appreciate you.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
Good night, Jim.
Night, man.
Our man, Jim Odak, your turn, Con.
Cool. And what he said, though, hit the nail on the head. I mean, because I'm the same, right? I'm on this show now and at your turn and at the con and playing games because I randomly called into this show a year ago and, met y'all and realized it was all local. So it's pretty cool stuff. But so last week's show, at the end of the show, when BJ called in, he talked about a game that he loved playing that fell under the radar and is an older game. And I brought it to Your Turn Con and got Carlos to play it. So Carlos, New York 1901. What was your final thoughts there?
New York 1901, right? So I've been trying to be more like Mitchell and being selective in the games I buy. After we played New York 1901, I told myself, you know what? When I leave this con, this is the game that I'm going to order. Like 1901 will be that game. This is not. I'm in that whole Dune and Arnak competition. Apparently, that had happened between 1901 and Ticket to Ride because of the marketing and the time frame that these games were published. There was this kind of like debacle between the two, but I will never say that they're anywhere near each other. Two completely different games. I love city builders. I'm not saying this is a city builder, but I love city builders and I love polyomino tile placement games. And this has it. It has that worker placement piece. Geez, it feels like if you cross, I don't know, like Foundations of Rome with, some I can't. It feels like what Foundations of Rome could be, and the reason I'm not a huge fan of Foundations of Rome is because of the cost of it. Like Foundations of Rome they jumped a shark. They said, "Hey, we can take a good city building tile placement game and let's just ramp it up by $200 for no reason other than to say you got plastic."
Easy now.
Hey, I'm just being real. I'm being real. This here does what Foundation in Rome does, which is that whole idea of I buy a deed, right? And then when I buy that deed, I can then build on that property. I own that location, and now I can build on that property. It does that. And it has the bonus point aspect. These streets will pay out more at the end of the game, so you want to buy deeds in these locations. Now, you don't get that bonus points of Foundations of Rome where you're getting bonus points for, how do you say it? having different types of buildings around other buildings. So Foundations Row may have taken it to another level. They added like another aspect, which is if you build these types of buildings next to these buildings, you get more bonuses. So, okay, they added some more bonuses to it. But for $35 to be able to, and Jim Odak, my man right here, James, in the chat, Foundations of Rome is basically the same as New York 1901 or 19 in the future. 19,000.
I think so I was teaching the game. I taught the game to Carlos and his wife and Rachel, and I gave you get a little placard for your starting guy, and there's literally like 2 sets of iconography, and I said those are the whole rules of the game. What? I said those are the whole rules of the game. For you, action is either place a dude by grabbing a contract, so you
buy a deed,
buy a deed, and then you can build on previously bought deeds, or you can destroy a building and overbuild it as long as you build a color bigger. That's it. That's the whole game. But then there's the strategy of which buildings you take and where do you overbuild, and the bonus tiles that gives it that complexity. That's makes it easier. Makes it it's like literally there's 2 rules in the game basically, but then there's the complexity of how you build it and what streets you build on and what bonuses you go for, how quickly you get to silver and gold buildings, and when do you overbuild is interesting. So anyway, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I know BJ might not be listening tonight, but if he listens to it, he'll be happy to hear that we got it to the table at Your Turn Con, because we had mentioned it. So I think
I will have to say, like, Mike, I couldn't help it. I was playing this game, and by the end of this game, I think I had talked to Wayne like 18 times about different things I could have. Like, I could turn these tiles into buildings with the laser. So by the time I was done enjoying the game, I had this idea of my head of like Foundations of Row. Like, he's
already trying to like we
could
do acrylic things and building tiles and this and that, and
I could make this game into Foundations of Rome.
Yeah, or you could just play it as is. It'd be fine.
Now, I will say it. At the time that I played this game, it was going to be the game I was going to go home and buy. I was going to make a bad choice. I was going to use some of that money from the flea market. This is the game I was going to buy.
Oh, boy.
But it was not the game I bought.
No? What was it?
It was not the game I bought. The game I bought when I got home from Your Turn Con was Ready, Set, Bet.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Mike, you hosted the game. Talk about Ready, Set, Bet.
Yep. I'm with you.
Oh man, that's it's like a live action betting horse racing game. It just came out not that long ago. I think they had it at what was that one big convention?
Gen Con had it, but it wasn't like in retail out yet.
Correct. Yeah. So it's you've got 10 horses that are racing, and each horse has a number, associated with them. And you're basically chucking, you have like one guy that's chucking dice and calling the race out, moving the horses. And there's a whole betting table with odds on who you want to win, place, and show. And they have, different, what kind of bets are those at the top? I forget the name.
Well, they got They have like proposition bets at the top.
Prop bets. They have prop bets that change every round, and then they have
the color bets.
Exotic finishes that that a new one comes out where 3 people, or you can put 3 different bets on it, before the end of the race. But it's
because up here at the top you get these proposition bets. So proposition bets let you throw some money down on odds. You can say, I think the blue horses are going to beat the orange horses, right? I'm gonna say the 7 is going to place before the 11. So it's kind of these proposition bets you're doing. And then below that are the color bets, because the horses do come in multiple colors. So like different sets of colors for the different horses. You can then say, I'm just going to bet on the blue horses, right? If that blue horse wins, I multiply my money by 5. If a red horse wins, I multiply my money by 2. And then at the bottom are the exotic bets that Mike was just talking about. These are the ones these bets are very circumstantial. Like, it's
you got to
if this, then this, and the moon for Saturn aligns with Mars, and the gases from the swamp happen, you win.
You threw all your tokens on one card, and they all got you a ton of money.
I got like third place off of that one bet.
Now, I didn't play Mike's copy and his calling of the game. Now, if you put him calling the game in the box, I'm there to buy it. But we played with Diego's copy. Now, Diego's copy, He's already blinged it all out. Those cardboard money tokens have been replaced with chips, and
Nice.
the betting tokens, he put them in coin cases. So this is a game for $40. I'm immediately I have to play with poker chips or something for the money, and those like all the cardboard's got to go away. Like Carlos,
I think I got my copy for about $30 actually. So.
Okay, yeah, I just looked online. It was $37 to $40 on.
I got my iron clays ready to go.
Yeah, I'll use the iron
clays.
So, yeah, I've got those. Yeah, it's a game that immediately you're going to upgrade because the cardboard tokens for coins and the cardboard.
I'm already deciding what color acrylics I'm going to use for the player bet markers.
With the acrylic, man, come on, you're ruining it. You got to do.
I got a laser, man. I got to use it. I got to fire the laser.
Yeah, I tell you what, Diego had coin like quarter coin holders that he bought online and put all those in there. That worked good.
Definitely.
Same thing with it was Quaxaquedlinburg, those that people put.
Oh yeah. I have those for multiple games. I love the coin cases.
Yeah, I use those on Arkham Horror LCG for the tokens that you pull out of the bag.
Yeah, see, this is acrylic. Look at that, it's gorgeous.
With James comment that Mike needs to do some over voices for the app. Yeah, you guys played it. I was in the middle of a game on Friday night, and we could hear you guys across the room. You guys were. It sounded great. I'm like, I gotta play this game. It was good. Yeah, so.
It gets a little, you start off a little slow and everybody's, getting their bets down. And then once one horse like passes the red line, that's like when it starts getting exciting because the other, that one could sit totally still for about 3 or 4 rolls and other horses are catching up. And then you start cheering for the horse that you're betting on. And it gets very exciting at the table. It's a fun game.
Yeah. You get Rob and Nick. Come on, Red. Come on, Blue. Come on. You're yelling at it. It's like you yelling at it. It's not going to make the dice roll any different. But you get into it though. It's cool. It definitely hit.
Yeah. I don't know if y'all can hear it. If we can get Mike on the audio here, it'd be great.
Start calling it.
If we his calling, he threw an accent in there.
You got to get the old timey, and the horses are in the pen.
Yeah, I think anybody who's watching the show, if you don't, you should just go watch the live stream of it. You can hear the excitement that people have playing this game. It definitely was a great.
And if it wasn't for this game, I would have went home and bought 1901. If it wasn't for Ready Set Bet.
I have a copy you can borrow anytime you want.
The difference was with Ready Set Bet versus 1901, right? So we're coming up on Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
or as we say in my family, Thanksgiving. I'm thinking about all the time we're gonna get together with family and friends, and I always think about what games can I bring, right?
Right.
Ready Set Bet is just gonna be like the one that I don't have to explain how it works.
Exactly.
All the dads there are gonna know it's horse racing.
Horse racing.
Throw money down to horses.
Craps. Horse racing. Ready set bet.
Ready set bet.
I definitely feel that you have to play with the right group. It's fun to get excited about it, but I can definitely see it not gelling with certain people that maybe don't care about crowds or. They're very much
all the people I don't like.
But I think for the most part, any get together, this is an easy one to break out. It takes maybe 5 minutes to explain everything, and you still don't have to understand everything. You just can only put 1 bet per square. It's not much harder than that for the most part, and. Even if you're doing it with the app and the app is calling it out. I was actually playing with the app the other day, like just looking at it.
Me too.
You can set the time on how fast it calls the horses
I set it
out.
to the fastest setting and it blew my mind.
I was going to say, man, like other than him adding commentary, man, those numbers come out really fast and the horses like constantly are moving. So
if you turn off the commentary, put it at half second, the whole race is done in like a minute. and like my brain just melted. Like, what just happened? You would not have had time to place bets.
Yeah,
you wouldn't.
Too fast.
Wouldn't. Yeah.
No, I think to me this game really shines with the dice level, like actually seeing the dice being played and rolled. It kind of it takes away that feeling of I got cheated, right? So like you all remember playing like Nintendo 60, back in the day, NES, playing an NES game, the game cheated me. Like, that turtle wasn't there when I jumped, and now he got me because the game cheated me. I'm not relying on an app. It's a person, it's dice, it's happening.
Yeah.
We see the rolls. When the game does it, I'm like, oh, what's this algorithm for randomness? How did it decide what the algorithm was, right? Those feelings go away when you just stick to the plastic and the cardboard.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm glad you hosted it.
I'm
I think my
glad
favorite aspects of this game is the one bet per spot. Like that did it. That right there did it for me in the feeling that gives you that rush, that stress of I really want to bet on this horse, and there's some spots that will have no negative if I lose, and then, well, damn it, Rob, you already placed there, and now I'm angry. And then the other part that I really loved is the losing wasn't that horrible. When you lose money, you're not losing your whole bet. Like you're not betting money. You're betting chips 1 through 5, 1 through 4.
It's 2 through 5, yeah.
2
and if
through
you're
5.
playing with less people, you have 2 3s in there. But you can also acquire more chips throughout the game.
Yeah, with those special VIP cards.
The VIP cards, yeah.
So you're not like taking money out of your pile and putting it on the board and then watching that money go to the house. That's negative player experience when you bet and you watch all your money go away. It's a different emotion when you put a bet indicator and then you lose 1 or 2 times that chip, right? Not all your money, just a small amount of money. So the negatives didn't feel as bad.
Yeah, you're not taking a huge hit.
Yeah.
I'll stop.
Yeah.
I'll stop.
No, it's. I definitely plan on bringing this to any kind of family function because, like my side of the family, they don't play board games. But this is, my dad used to go to the dog track all the time, and I could see most of my family getting into something like this.
Right. I remember my dad said he was going to the dog track. I'm still waiting for him to come back.
Oh, jeez.
Went dark.
Yikes.
But I think, I think you hit the nail on the head, though. Is like I could bring this to Thanksgiving dinner, and my wife and I and my sister-in-law, brother-in-law are gamers. Will enjoy it. But my mother-in-law, who doesn't like board games, she get into this because she's gone to the horse races. She likes going to the casino. She understands, so she would easily get behind this as a competition and a gambling type of thing. Although some people may want to put actual money on it, but we'll see. So. No,
Yeah.
this was one of the bigger hits of the con. It was this. Thunder Alley was pretty big. We had this epic Memoir 44 game. Carlos did an amazing job, teaching everyone how to use the Carlos, what do you call those little things that you on the board for Memoir 44?
The models, the miniatures, the units. English is not my first language.
The game components, is that what you're referring to, Wayne?
For
plastic people.
For months, this guy makes fun of me for saying idea. So then he's saying figures.
Figures on the board. No, thank you, Wayne. I had to twist Wayne's elbow behind his back to get him to play. And my wife looked at me like, Carlos, just let him be. I'm like, no, I need another player.
Yeah, that was fine.
I really don't want to play. I want to teach. I want to teach and I want to host. I don't want to be a player. So I really I had to crank his arm back to get him to commit. But I think you ended up having a good time.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to make sure that there wasn't other people because I've played, but I could play Memoir anytime I want with you or on BGA. With people. So I was like, well, if there's somebody else, but yeah, we needed the one extra person to level out a team. It was a fun time. And it gave me the forever out. Anytime you make fun of me on my New York accent, I'm just going to be like, where are the figures at?
the numbers, anyway, I'm out. I think the game of the con for me that I didn't even play in, I didn't even play in this game, It's the first time I've ever seen this game played. My son Gabriel, 11 years old, joined us. He, he's probably the most gamer of all my kids. Hibachi. How do you spell that?
And when you say gamer, you mean video gamer?
No, board gamer. Of all my kids, he is a video
okay.
gamer. He is a lover of video games. But of all my kids, he's the one that's always down for a game. He's always down to learn a new board game, down to play a game. So he joined us for the con weekend, and he signed up for every tournament he could. We showed up over at the Zephyr Hills Brewery, which this was another aspect that Dan and Sarah did great. What they did really well was they went for that, I would call it the Dragon Con feel, because that's the only place I've had it before, is where there's like the con, and then there are different buildings throughout downtown that you can go visit for different things.
Yeah.
So Dan got he partnered with like the hookah lounge, like the bar. He partnered with the Zephyr Hills Brewery. He had all these different buildings, the women's club, these different spaces you had to leave the building and walk to. Yep. That's nice. You get a little bit of fresh air, get to see people outside. We went over to the Zephyr Hills Brewery, and they had a tournament for hibachi, which is a little dexterity game. This one almost got purchased. Like I'm trying to be good, y'all. I'm trying not just to buy games. I'm trying to be good. This will be bought though. I'm putting it on my Christmas list.
But now we know you're willing to sell games, so you can easily sell more games.
I've never done that before. I actually took the money I used to sell games to actually buy more games, but never mind.
Okay.
We're back. Hibachi is a game where you're racing to complete 3 hibachi style recipes with 3 different ingredients on each card. You're going to gain ingredients by flipping, sliding these poker chips onto what looks like a hibachi grill. If you've ever been to a hibachi restaurant, you got your guy over there talking about the choo-choo, doing the little train sound, and the volcano, and he takes a little bit of butter and throws it into like butterfly. It's hilarious. I love it. I love going to hibachis. Yep. You do that here. You're flicking these discs on the board to try to get different ingredients on this hibachi grill that you need. But you're going to have these poker chips that are going to have different values on them on the backside. So as you flip your disc, your opponents really don't know what number you're putting on that disc. But all I know is if you're going after rice and I see you flick a disc on the rice, I have the opportunity to flick a disc and try to knock your poker chip away from rice to stop you. So it adds that kind of that crokinole dexterity game into it. But then we flip your poker chip and it's got a dollar value on it, or a yen value that you're using to buy those ingredients. First, the player that was on it gets the opportunity to, I believe, sell ingredients of that type at that market value of the poker chip that landed on it. And then, starting with that player, they get to buy ingredients of that type based on that dollar value that poker chip is worth. So you're trying to control the market of the value of the ingredients by flicking poker chips onto them, knowing what cards we're all racing for to try to fill ingredients on. So it's like Gabriel talked about how the one of the ingredients got chosen, but because that ingredient wasn't on the table, that meant that the players that had the most of that ingredient in their hands had to give them back onto the board, which thus gave Nick Oben the win, right? Because he was then able to buy the ingredients that were missing to fulfill his third order and get the win. So it's those highs and those lows, watching the people play it. Awesome hibachi by, I don't even know anymore. Who does this? Hibachi, Marco Tubener of Grail Games. It was not. It was not at all. So that's my game of the con.
Yeah, all the tournaments were kind of cool. You had Crokinole, you had the hibachi one, the Throw Burrito. There was the Tabletop Golf Association tournament. I missed
that one was fun too.
Yeah, the only thing I always it's like several of the tournaments I really wanted to play in that. I really check it out, but then you end up in a regular game that goes a little long, so you miss it. So I think timing of game playing versus tournaments, I need to work on that because I missed a few of the tournaments. But going over the Zephyr Hills Brewing Company was good. It was good to check out a local business, local brewery, have a couple beers, play some Crokinole, and then the women's league or whatever it was that had that other building women's club, had tables set up and where we had the flea market.
Flea market,
so it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Overall, that was my game of one of my game. Well, y'all brought up Ready Set Bet for Mike because he brought that. 1901 from Wayne, and then Hibachi were the three standouts for me. All those three really helped make the con gameplay wise. But I think that the thing that really made the weekend for me was watching my son get to compete in no less than 5 different tournaments. Now, he lost all of them. He's still mad at Poppy for making fun of him. I get it. But at the end of the day, the boy got to play in 5 different tournaments.
That's pretty awesome.
That was his first con he ever attended, and now he wants tickets to Dice Tower. That's pretty cool.
Go.
There you go, man. Yeah, I already got mine.
Getting them hooked.
That's the plan. All right, well that's going to get us to the end of the show here. We're going to go through the final news in the show. Anybody got any final news, upcoming events that you're hosting, or things you've got going on you want to share with the folks at home?
Can't think of anything really. You have the board game. You have a game day this Saturday at Armada Games in Tampa. So if you're a member of the crew or listening in and live in the Tampa Bay area, you can join in. I know Rob is up in the mountains of Georgia, so he's not going to be there. I got soccer matches for my kid all day, so I won't be there. But I think Carlos, you're going to be there dinner time-ish, Sean. But folks from the Beans and Dice crew will be there all day long. So feel free to go out there and support Armada Games and get some gaming in. Continue on the trend from the con. So,
yeah.
Mike, any news for the folks at home? Anything going on?
Nothing other than too many Kickstarters showing up and shipping. I was actually I was talking with my wife tonight, and I've had some that have shipped to my house, but Your Turn keeps getting more Kickstarters that are my Kickstarters that I ordered when I lived here. But it's kind of good because I'm driving home eventually and I can just throw them in my car. Well, my wife is flying down for Thanksgiving and she's like, oh, I was thinking about driving back with you. I was like, yeah, that'll be fun. And I was like, but there might be a space issue in the car because I've got these Kickstarters I got to bring back. And she was just like, I don't know about you, but I know we're running out of space because you've got Kickstarters sitting here waiting for you. I was like, yeah, I know. I got to go through my Kickstarters.
You're gonna need to borrow the Toolie to put on top of the car.
I think it was you, Wayne, that you said that you took all the games off your shelf.
I did. Yeah.
And then you were like, this is my favorite game. Boom. And you just kind of went down the line and whatever didn't fit, it got jettisoned,
I am 95% through that process. On Tuesday, I went to my game room. I took every single game off the shelf, and then I just slowly started putting them back in like order. And I added 20 games to my sell pile that just are not going to fit on the shelves. I'm like, I'm never playing this game. It's gone. Yeah. And
I'm going to have to definitely do that when I get home.
It worked because that made me realize, so I actually added I added my Twilight Imperium. I have a Twilight Imperium 3rd edition with all the expansions. I'm never going to play that. I just, the game groups I have nowadays is never going to play an 8 to 10 hour, massive game. And
that's a lie. We would.
Yeah.
But we would only do that for TI4. Nobody's ever going to play TI3 again.
Yeah, the TI3 with all the expansions, there's stuff available only in TI3 that's not yet in TI4.
But it's not TI4.
Yeah, there's not that much of a difference between the two.
Zeno keeps saying that, but I'm sorry, Nick Oben keeps saying that, but Zeno and I keep telling him he's wrong. TI4 is where it's at.
Yeah, maybe, but I'm never going to play it, so I might as well get rid of it because the expansions are actually valuable because people want that expansion thing. Like my copy of the War of the Ring, probably never going to play that, so that's going.
Is that going?
Yeah,
we're gonna have to talk.
I
got an extra crokinole board laying over here. We can talk.
I got War of the Ring and the expansion for it. So
I got a crokinole board and some disc, and if you want some dust to put on it, I also got some other kinds of dust you can put on it if you want. What you need, Bobby? I got you.
We'll see. But no, those are the two big. Those are the two big ones that didn't make the cut. But a bunch of other games that I'm just like, I'm never gonna play this game again. So it's just time to move it on.
And I know that I'll never play War of the Ring, ever. William already owns
a copy of it.
Yes, because of what it is, I want it on my shelf.
Yeah, so you got to change your thinking about that, man. I used to be like that. I turned into more of a collector there for a while.
Yeah,
And
That's why I had 2 copies of Union Pacific and a copy of D-Mocker and War of the Ring and all these games that I'm like,
yeah,
I like them and I would play them, but I'm never going to get it to the table because where am I going to get, like the D-Mocker? Where am I going to get like 5 other people to play a German language game about the elections of Germany? It's like a 4.0 weight scale game. Like, yeah, I'll play it, but no one else will. So why am
Not
I
it.
keeping, not it exactly. Yeah. So that went the last board game fair, market. But yeah, no, it's it is. And now I'm at the point I created the end of my shelf now is all the new games that I've picked up. So like I picked up a used copy of Photosynthesis and Maglev Metro and Living Forest and the games I haven't played are down there. And those are the ones I'm going to go to first and get them. And if I don't like it, it's just going to go right on the sell pile. And hey, I got a spot for a new game that I can put in there. So that's my that's what. Yeah, James.
Mike, I got a Thule, big old topper. You can put it on. It's. We'll find a way to get it back from Seattle.
No, man, I got a hatchback.
Is it that bad? Will it all fit the hatch?
I tell your wife she could come for the ride, but she's got to have a ether fields on her lap the whole way from here to Seattle.
That and I can't even remember the name. It was the big one that the guys that
Endless
did
Winter?
Tricarian did. Perseverance.
Oh my gosh, that's a huge one. Mahir was playing at a Dice Tower.
Yeah, that one and Endless Winter. That'll be on her lap.
Listen, if Endless Winter doesn't fit, I get it. You can leave it here. Well, you know how well I'll treat that game.
I want to give that game a try because it looked interesting.
I want to see where it ranks and stacks with the other deck building worker placement games.
Yeah, man,
Brandon of All Aboard Gamers
about it. So,
Brandon of All Aboard Gamers talked about it when we joined the Ant Lab group for that panel, and he just seems to be in love with it.
It was definitely played a bunch. I think that I saw it on a table at least 4 or 5 times during the whole of your turn con. So people were checking it out. So
this Saturday I'll be at Armada Games sometime around 5:00. I'm working with a friend of Rachel Lee, who is a guy out of Tampa designing his own board game called Conspiracy. It's a social deduction type game. I don't know if y'all had the opportunity to play it during the Your Turn Con, Wayne or Mike. I don't know if you had the opportunity to play, but I'm going to get my opportunity to play this weekend. Joseph Kelly is the person that I've been in contact with regards to the design of this game. If you have an opportunity to join me Saturday, 5 p.m. at Armada Games, it is our second Saturday game day. My son's got an ROTC competition that I really want to go watch him do. Rob's out of town hunting, so Rob and I can't commit to being there for the game day, but the day is still there. So get on the Beans and Dice Facebook, get on the Beans and Dice Discord, and start getting some games set up with you and your friends on your own. But I'll be there about 5 p.m.-ish, right before 5 p.m. to help playtest these rules for Conspiracy, a social deduction board game with Mr. Kelly himself. We're going to learn this, Joseph Kelly. We're going to learn this game, play it out, and provide some feedback, kind of like we do when we've gone to the Stonemeyer Design Day, giving some playtest feedback. So if you have the opportunity, please join me 5 p.m.-ish at Armada Games. I want to play it at a higher player count. I feel like social deduction games won't get a fair shake if you don't play it at its best player count, which usually is towards that higher end. So hopefully some folks can be there and available.
Yep. I think we played it at the con. I think there were, remembering this, 8. We played it with 8 at the con. So yeah, I think that's definitely, the more people, the better.
All right, and that's the last bit of the news. Michael, Wayne, thank you for joining me tonight.
Absolutely.
To take the calls from the folks. We will do this again every Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. This Saturday game day. Every second Sunday or fifth Sunday-ish, we throw a podcast out there. Lately, it's been busy, but we're working on getting something recorded to talk about in more depth about the games that we played at Your Turn Con. I know Wayne and I want to go through that, but with Rob out of town hunting, we really want Rob to be a part of that. The folks that joined the con to get together and talk about our experiences in more depth. So we're going to coordinate that and get that out for you. But that's it for tonight's show. Thanks for watching. We will catch you all on the next one. I'm Carlos.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Wayne.
And we are the Beans and Dice Podcast, a podcast about
how we game.
Thanks for watching. Have a good night, everybody. We'll catch y'all
Night.
on the next one. Outro. Go.
Thanks for watching the Beans and Dice podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Thank you, Captain Ahab. Your turn con was a blast. My man James